Disclaimer: the following program features language not suitable for all audiences, and the expressed opinions found within this program are a reflection of those who feature on the PopCulture Effect podcast. Welcome to the PopCulture Effect. I'm Rockin Rob, and on this show, I bring my closest friends together to talk about all the news happening in our pop culture world around us.
What's going on, everyone? Blaze here, back at you for another podcast recording. I got two of my friends. Why did I say three? There's three of us, two friends here with me today. I got Gemini here with me.
Hello.
Thanks, Gemini.
I said hello, didn't I?
You were completely silent.
It captured on my end, but hello. I think it did anyway. I don't know, but hello. Hi, it's me, the resident goblin.
Hello. And I got the other Tyler, Menace, here.
Hello.
Got a few things to talk about in the podcast today, but I'm going first because, oh my god, we finally did it. It finally happened. I have been talking about this for so many recordings. We finally got Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer, god damn it. Finally!
Don't lie, this is just the Shadow the Hedgehog movie.
It is just Shadow the Hedgehog movie. Well, it's kind of... So, they have heavily stated that this movie is going to take pretty much an entire source material from Sonic Adventure 2. It's going to feel almost exactly like that game, which is like everyone's favorite Sonic game.
Honestly, I can remember spending hours upon hours in that game. Not even playing it, but getting lost in the Chow Garden and just breeding and like nurturing chows to make them better in the different like races and activities. It was fun.
But we finally got the trailer. They announced the day before that we were going to get the trailer at like 9 a.m. and I could not sleep last night. I was so excited to just see the trailer, and even when I was working, I was like waiting the time to go by so then I could take a break at 9 to watch the trailer on my phone. But yeah, Sonic Hedgehog 3 trailer. Finally get to see Shadow in his glorious, in his glory, because oh my god, he looks great. He looks like such a badass, and Keanu Reeves voicing him is such the perfect choice.
I will say, I like Keanu.
Who's voicing him?
Keanu Reeves, John Wick himself.
And who's he voicing? I was like half paying attention.
Shadow.
Oh, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Of course he is.
Somebody get this man a gun.
Shadow just rolls out with a gun.
That's his thing, though. In his game, he uses like SMGs and Desert Eagles and stuff.
Oh, does he? I don't know shit about Sonic. Like, I avoided that with a 10. Like, I avoided that shit like it was the plague. I mean, I watched the movies, but like, I didn't play. I played like the original games, but I never got into the fandom because.
Gotcha.
That's fair.
But yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog in his own solo game, he is the only character that has ever used actual weapons. When he's in any of the other Sonic games, he doesn't. But when they did his own solo game in like 2006 or 7, he was like just straight up killing people with guns.
I wanted to say something, but I feel like it wouldn't even be allowed in the recording, so I'm not gonna say it.
Shadow the Hedgehog is pretty nuts because it's the prequel and shows like the origins before Dr. Robotnik and stuff like that. And it involves like alien demon things, and then you can also fight humans, and then you can also fight robots. So it's
there's like three different like story paths you can take Shadow through. But going back to the movie though, the trailer looks amazing. Just seeing the trailer even shows more of how it's definitely taking inspiration heavily from Sonic Adventure 2. It definitely seems like the story of it through the trailer. Shadow's gonna break out and he is wreaking havoc throughout the world. My guess is he's either going after like gun facilities, or he's just trying to wreak havoc in areas to set up a way to just start destroy the Earth after the events. Because in the games, we know that he has a very tragic backstory of the one person he cared for dying due to gun, and then they freeze him in stasis for 50 years, and that kind of seems like that's the drive point for Shadow in the movie as well, is that he's out for revenge.
And I'm not sure about this one. I know in the comics, when he breaks, in the original one, when he breaks out, he destroys the facility and he kills Robotnik, correct? In the process?
I'm not too sure, but I don't read the comics. I know more for the games than I do.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant, was like the original game when he breaks out and the space station blows up, like we've seen in the trailer.
I know Gerald Robotnik, not Eggman Robotnik.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Gerald Robotnik in the game dies during the attack, the gun attack that also killed Maria. But in the movie with the trailer, we see Gerald is still alive, so that's going to be interesting.
And meeting up with the Eggman as well.
But Team Sonic can't beat Shadow alone, so they go to Eggman to team up to defeat Shadow. But I think Eggman, after seeing Gerald, is going to turn on Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious if the hidden actual villain of the trailer is going to be Metal Sonic.
I think that's what we're getting into. But I feel like it's more of maybe a little tweaking to the story, especially with Gerald still being alive. That maybe like he had something to do with Maria's death.
Maybe. It looks like, because I know in the games, Maria gets shot down, but it looks like in the trailer, she dies to an explosion.
Yeah, and I think in this one, like, if Gerald had something to do with it, he's going to be fighting with Gerald up until he finds out, probably with the help of Team Sonic, and then that's what's going to flip him to their side.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting. I do think it's really cool, though, that we do see Shadow with his iconic motorcycle from the Shadow the Hedgehog game.
Yeah.
And he does the iconic Akira slide on the bike.
And the remix, or I guess the remaster they did for the song for Shadow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Crush 40, the band who's done a lot of the iconic songs for the Sonic games, they're coming back and they're putting their song. They've been asked to put their songs into this movie. So we know Live and Learn is going to be in it, and it actually gets teased in the trailer when the logo appears for Sonic 3. We actually hear like the beat to Live and Learn in the when the logo's appear.
So good.
So we're gonna hear that iconic song somewhere in the movie. I'm really hoping we get I Am All of Me when Shadow gets introduced, either when he breaks out or when Team Sonic confronts him for the first time.
Yeah. There was supposed to be a rock version of the, I can't remember the name. Can you see all of me? Walk it. There's like
that's I Am All of Me.
Okay, yeah. There was a rock version that was teased by the band.
Okay, interesting.
So maybe they'll do that with what you're saying. I hope 2 things from this movie. 1, Shadow gets to use Chaos Control at least once.
That is one thing I am curious about, because he looks like he's teleporting in the trailer, but I'm not sure. We didn't see any Chaos Emeralds in the trailer, so I'm wondering if they're trying to keep that hush-hush, or if he just has that power without the Chaos Emeralds.
I think they're going more from, since Shadow came out after Sonic Adventures 2, they did give him the ability to teleport in Shadow the Hedgehog, and that's like his origin story, so I think they're kind of adding that onto it.
Well, Shadow the Hedgehog does take place after Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, like, it connects him.
If I remember correctly, that version of Shadow's a clone of the original Shadow, because the original Shadow died at the end of Sonic Adventure 2, if I remember correctly. It's been a while.
But it connects him to, like, his past with the alien things and whatever, like, but I believe, if I remember correctly from that game, that he gets the teleporting ability from them.
Okay.
But yeah, so I want to see him do a Chaos Control, and City Escape needs to be one of the songs that's in the...
Oh yeah, absolutely. Though I don't think that song was by Crush 40, but it would be cool if we get, like, even if like an instrumental version of it at some point would be nice, because that song was also in Sonic Adventure 2, if I remember correctly.
That's the first level you go into.
Oh yeah, it is. Man, I really need to replay that. But yeah, I'm really. What was that?
I was just saying that Sonic Adventures 2 is the main one I remember. It's the one I've played the most. That's the only reason why I know.
And then on top of that too, like, we're getting the Sonic X Shadow Generations remake game.
You know they did that shit on purpose.
Oh yeah, they absolutely did. Because that one, the Shadow story in it is a direct sequel to Shadow the Hedgehog. he just no longer has guns, which is unfortunate.
Oh my god, seeing little like Chibi Shadow use guns, that'd kind of be funny.
But yeah, I am really excited for it. It didn't say in the trailer, but it was announced online that the movie is coming out December 20th.
Okay.
My only gripe from what I've seen of the trailer, and it's a really stupid nitpick, I think the CGI on Sonic looks a little off coloration-wise. He still looks great, but they made him more of a lighter blue, and I don't know, it just looks a little weird for me having him that light of a color, because he's usually more of a dark blue.
Like a navy blue, yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember, like, some colorations of Sonic. I don't know if they're this is for any reason, just pointing it out. But some colorations have like a lighter blue towards his like stomach area and like the sides of his face, and then it goes darker blue as it comes out. So that could be what they're doing with it, but I understand where you're getting at.
Yeah. I am a little worried though for God, why am I drawing the Tom Wachowski, Sonic's human friend and father figure at this point in the movies. He is wearing a gun outfit in the trailer, and he looks like he's yelling at Sonic for help. So I'm curious if Shadow might kill Tom or very much or wound him, and that's gonna make Sonic get really mad at Shadow.
More than likely, there's going to be growing tension between them that happens.
I do wonder, because later on, Sonic's like, "What did you do?" and Shadow's just like, "What I had to." But I am curious though if Tom is working with Gun at this point, or if he's just like sneaking in Gun.
From what I've seen, it seems like he's always like, helping Sonic. So I think he'd probably just be like sneaking in.
Because it does seem like in the trailer that Team Sonic is working with Gun. On like case by case basis. So I wonder if like Tom got hired by Gun after the events of Sonic 2. So that'll be interesting because a lot of people are theorizing that Tom's grandfather was one of the gun agents that attacked the facility when Maria died. So Shadow probably goes to kill him first because of his grandfather taking Maria away from him. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for the Sonic 3 movie. I'm really hyped for it. I'm so glad we finally got the trailer. Keanu Reeves is a perfect choice for voicing Shadow, and Shadow looks amazing. There isn't anything in Shadow that I would change about him style-wise. I think he looks great.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been on the fence of the whole new Sonic series. I've only heard good things, especially from Blaze. But, besides little things. But,
I will say it definitely seems like each one is just getting better and better, which I really hope they keep this momentum, especially since I heard there was already talks of Sonic 4 in the works. So it's interesting to see that this is probably not the last Sonic movie. We're probably going to get more. And the last thing I wanted to add in, there's actually people pointing out in the trailer that there's a few spots where it looks like there should be another person standing there. So I think either they're cutting out scenes where Shadow's with the team, or they're cutting out scenes with another character that hasn't been shown in the trailer or announced yet, possibly like Amy or Rouge.
I could see that. But as much as I love Rouge, I don't think that she would be helping out the team.
No.
Just yet.
If they go like Sonic Heroes route with Sonic 4, I could see Rouge being introduced to be on Shadow's team.
I could see her being like the
survive
cameo
after this movie.
Yeah, I could see her being like the cameo character.
Yeah. But that's all I got for Sonic 3. I cannot wait for December 20th to watch it. But moving on, Gemini, what's this about inZOI?
It's back again.
It is back. I know I spoke about this, just literally last episode, but that's because, I didn't realize what was the big game event that just went on right now?
Gamescom,
yes. I didn't know they'd talk about it. I should have realized. But
they had their own booth.
Well, to be fair, I don't pay attention to that kind of shit.
Oh, no. I didn't know either until I opened a random video because I watch Outside Extra and Outside Xbox.
Oh,
I saw one of the... I saw one of the people on there, Jane, was doing an interview type thing, and I was like, hey, what's this? I click on it, and they're like, yeah, at the inZOI booth in Gamescom, and that's when I messaged you the link.
Oh,
I was like, holy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I didn't know they'd be talking about it. I mean, I'm not surprised. It is like, one of the big up and coming in the life simulation franchise, as I've stated already. But yeah, I'm back to talking about it because they have released some more information about it. If you were lucky this past week to be able to get your mittens on the free character creator that they dropped for the week, I tried it out. I enjoyed it. One big issue is it is definitely a very intense game. I probably will have to upgrade my specs by the time it drops, but that's a then problem. That's a future Gemini problem.
Intense. I was like, I was gonna say, what do you mean? Like, it's very hard to keep them alive? Or...
No. This was just the character creator demo.
Oh, okay.
So there was no gameplay in that sense. This was just the character creation demo, which I will admit, it was very interesting. It was very reminiscent of how the Sims 4 character creation works, but a lot more in depth. Very heavily detailed. There were a few things, I know, on the topic of it, one thing that people have been kind of complaining about is they are using generative AI in the game, I think for patterns and textures. I wasn't able to get that to work. I don't remember what it said. I don't remember if it said my graphics card. Something wasn't good enough on my end to get the generative AI to work properly. So I myself didn't utilize it, but apparently from what I have seen through other YouTubers who dabbled with the demo and the comments, apparently it doesn't even work that well. But a lot of people have been kind of irritated at Crafton for doing that, which I don't blame them because this apparently the AI they're using isn't good, and it's more just kind of the stealing kind. Which, I mean, that's a whole can of worms I've talked about before, so I'm not going to get into it, but that has kind of been one thing that makes this game a little and I honestly think it'd be better off just not having it and just being able to import your own textures. I feel that's just a better option. But moving on from that, so they released more trailers, things on the gameplay, more news, and a rough window, or a rough release date window, which by that I mean it's on Steam. It says coming soon, so that could be, next month. I highly doubt it. Next year, possibly, or within the next 5 years. It's hard to say. They're being very, what's the word? It's right there. I just saw
secretive?
It. Not secretive, lofty. They have very lofty ambitions for this game.
Oh, okay.
They're not necessarily being secretive because they did kind of showcase the limitations that the game is currently has, AI problems, building and everything. If you build a little too ambitiously, the AI will bug out, T-posing. So they have been rather transparent on the fact that yes, their game has bugs, and and granted, it's probably not even a proper playable state right now, so of course it's gonna have bugs, but at least Crafton is being transparent about it. Which, another thing, apparently this is also from the same company that made Dark and Darker. I didn't know that. Not a bad game.
I didn't know that either.
I will say that it's very interesting that they are actually saying what's wrong with it at the moment while they're working on it, because I rarely ever, if not ever, have heard a game company actually straight out say what they're working on trying to fix right now while the game's being.
Yeah,
I believe that has to do probably so people don't because people hear generative AI and they go, eh.
Yeah, they're I'm gonna butcher the out of this name because it's a Korean company. Hyungjin Kim. I'm very sorry. I probably butchered that. I'm an American bitch. But Mr. Kim, we'll go with that. He went during the panel or whatever when he was talking about it, he did say they demonstrated some of the technical limitations, such as the simple act of building a towering apartment complex with the resulting structure being less than habitable. Other issues including misbehaving AI, including babies using smartphones, which to be fair, that's kind of on point with this current generation of kids, but I digress. They're probably meaning actually fresh out the cave babies, which that's fair. They shouldn't be using, they probably shouldn't be using smartphones. But Zoe's riding in vehicles while T-posing, that's a fair, understandable, glitch.
But that's the thing though. Some of those glitches are like the funny glitches where if I saw like another Zoe driving down the street, arms sticking out of both sides of the vehicle, I'd laugh my ass off.
I know, I find that funny, but you have not really dipped your toes in the life sim community. They get vicious. They really do. You have one little thing wrong with your game.
It's got to be like full immersion.
Yeah, like there are some people that like they get fully vicious if they get like one little bug in their game, and it's just like, dude, calm down. I'm surprised they act like that because
I think that's just gamers in general. We're all feral.
But like The Sims has been one of the glitchiest games, probably. I'd say it's even glitchier than a Bethesda game, and that's saying something because they are probably one of the crown holders of like glitchy games. But like, play The Sims 4 for like 10 minutes, you're gonna run into at least 5 bugs, 5 glitches, and at least 1 game-breaking issue, at least. But
it's fair. Even my character when we were watching last night was kind of buggy.
Yeah, exactly. So like these games aren't perfect, but no game is perfect, but that's besides the point. So they don't have a full release date as of yet. It just says coming soon on Steam. Fair enough. You know, the game's still in pretty early, release. There have been, I think they did have, like, at their panel, they brought some, like, content creators on to play the game and everything. Fair enough. A lot of them do that. So it's in, like, I'd say maybe close to, like, a late stage pre-alpha, early beta playable state, but I do not think it is anywhere close to, like, a marketable playable state yet. But one thing that I was shocked, because I think when I spoke about this on last episode, I didn't anticipate this game to have a console release. They do plan on shipping this bad boy onto console.
Oh god, am I finally gonna get sucked into this shit?
Yeah, on PS5 and Xbox Series XS, they do plan on shipping inZOI onto it. Oh wait, it says due to release in late 2024. Okay, so I was anticipating next year, so maybe at the end of the year. But it could change. That has happened. It could change. So, it's very shaky. I would rather
if they need more time to cook, let them cook, honestly.
I was going to say, if they need to push it back by another couple months to even another year, go for it. Like, that's honestly, with how ambitious they're being, I think it might be for the best if they feel they have to push it back. That's besides the point. But yes.
With how finicky AI can be.
Oh, yeah. Especially, like, Life Sim AI can be either really amazing to watch, or it can be just like, dude, you've been standing in the corner laughing at a dark wall for like 5 minutes now. Mm-hmm. Do something. I have an action queued up for you, and you've been doing nothing but sitting there. But anyway, I was very surprised when it stated that they will be shipping this out onto PS5 and Xbox Series X. I haven't got my mittens on either of the next-gen consoles, so I don't know what their processing power, I don't know the raw power of what these consoles can handle, but just from how the game looked and how much content they're adding, I was very shocked that I guess these consoles are powerful enough to handle this game. Because from what it seems like, at least from the very few gameplay videos I have watched, which I've only watched like 1 or 2, and this was, I think, back before like still had a lot less stuff in it. It looks like, one, it's open world, there's a lot going on, like it looks pretty intense, and that's just, not even mentioning that it's on UE5 and all that. Very hyper realistic looking. Not fully, but like it's that PUBG style of like realism in a sense, where it's not fully realistic, but it's like a hair or two there. But they've showcased gameplay, which again, there's not really much to go on that, just because of the fact it's a life simulation game. You claim you're gonna be able to do almost anything. So, it's a life simulation game. You could just be a who works at McDonald's your whole life, and that's the game. You could do that. You could be a boss babe business person. You could raise a family. You can do whatever you want, and that's fine. That's the whole point of a life simulation game. I am having verbal diarrhea. God help me.
I don't think there's any helping you.
No, there's not. Nothing will help me. I do know one of the things with it. There's like a whole portion of the game that I'm still not too sure about, and that has to do with, I think, the mascot of the game, which is the inZOI cat. All they've really stated, one, it's the mascot. Fair enough. The Plum Bob is the mascot of The Sims. It's the icon. The mascot, I think, is more of the llama. But it says this cat is your...
Bob that diamond thing that's above the...
Yes.
It's the Plumbus.
The Plumbus. It says, Mr. Kim, this cat is your boss. You have to get everything approved through the cat before you make any changes. So, like, I don't know what, like, this cat is supposed to be. I think it's more
they're gonna be, like, the UI companion, essentially.
Probably, like, a UI companion kind of, like... thing. It's very like when I booted up the character demo, it was very interesting because it almost seemed like you were this like intern starting at some company. So I have no idea like what the beginning premise of the game is. You can do almost anything. So I don't know if this is like, I don't know. It's a very interesting way they're doing this. But it's still a life simulation game, so they'll probably explain it, or if they did, I just haven't watched any videos because, again, I have a bad habit of just wanting to go into this shit blind as but they have, they've showcased the build mode and everything. It's a build mode. It looks really nice. It does look very crisp and clean. The builds they've showcased are very nice. Get very in-depth into, like, customizing, how items are colored, not so much how they look, just more like, you plonk a bed down and you can either go with the basic swatch, or from what it seems like, you can give them bright purple sheets and vibrant yellow duvet cover. It clashes,
so, like, you can customize each part of the furniture that you're placing?
Maybe. I'm not 100% sure on that. More than likely, it looks like it's very reminiscent of Sims 3 build mode, where you could customize the color and texture of almost every portion of the furniture, and you could make some very, very, very tragic looking builds. Like, you could have a whole living room.
I can't wait for someone to just recreate the house from Up, where it's got all the different colors and shit.
Oh yeah, you could do that. I've seen some things where from top to bottom to every little piece of furniture that you can change the texture to is just cow print, cheetah print, paisley. You can do it if you want. I wouldn't recommend it.
This is my flannel house. This is my cheetah print house.
Yeah, this is my flannel house. The fridge is flannel. The stove is flannel. The toilet is flannel. Like, why the toilet?
Blazes at your dream house.
Flannel everything from the roof to the door to the toilet.
Don't judge me. I like flannel, okay? Leave me alone.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a good flannel.
There's nothing wrong, yeah.
Yeah, no, a good flannel's nice and everything, but like really the shitter? Really?
I do like, especially, I've only played a few simulation games. I'm more into like the city ones where like you don't got to deal with each of the individual people.
And that's fair. I think this is going to be a little bit mixture of both, because they do have the world. They've like touched up on some of the worlds that you can live in, which by worlds, they're actual like cities that are very reminiscent of actual real life locations, such as Bliss Bay, which is meant to be an inspiration from the boardwalks and sun-soaked Americana of Santa Monica, California. So apparently a lot of these expansive maps come furnished with mechanics that will feel very similar to classic SimCity fans. One such adjustable setting is the city safety level, which determines the level of crime and general societal chaos that occurs in your city. This also lowers the success rate of relationships. Interesting, as lower social stability affects the population's mood and inherent trust in others. That actually makes a lot of sense. Wow. Mm-hmm. So it does look like it has a mixture of
little features like that I like. It's like, oh, cool. If I don't actually take care of my people, there are actual consequences.
It's not even that. Like, you could just load it up and be all like, do I want this to be like a, good old suburbia where like everyone is friends with everyone and there's like no
or
crime?
Literal Gotham City.
Yeah, or Chicago, Do you want it to be suburbia New York? Maybe not New York.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Suburbia Wisconsin? I don't know shit about that state. Is that a safe state?
Depends on where you go. I think
Suburbia, Alaska. I hear Alaska's safe.
Suburbia in general.
Versus Chicago, Philadelphia. I can say that because I live in that state. Any major city, I do like how you can change that. That's interesting. I feel like the portion that I said about certain cities being unsafe should probably get cut. I'm sorry, Robbie.
It's for the YouTube version. It's for the
YouTube version. But then going back to that, then there is also the custom, they gave more in-depth to the character customization, which again, they did release the, so it is nice that they did release the demo for that. And people made a lot of you could make a lot of interesting characters. You could make I know a lot of people apparently, and this is honestly, these are just the people that are bitching to bitch, which those people. They're like, oh, the character creation screen doesn't have enough diversity and inclusivity. One. Okay, I will give you the fact that there should have been a few more hair textures. I'll give you that one. There should have been a few more textured hairs. I'll give you that. But aside from that, you could literally make almost anybody of almost any racial identity or ethnicity in this game. It was actually crazy how detailed at least the facial portion of this character creation was. Body was a little bit more to be desired. I'll give him that. That one was a little bit more awkward. The clothes did fit okay. With the chunkier you made him, it looked a little bit more awkward. But I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that it's still very, very early, very late alpha, early beta. So again, it's probably going to change by the time the game fully drops.
So you said maybe you saw people using the character, or did you use the character?
I fiddled around with it myself, but then I also watched other people fiddle with it as well. And
Oh, go ahead.
That's fine. But yeah, you could make almost anybody if you tried hard enough. And then if you wanted to, you could create some f***ing monsters. I watched this one dude who made a literal stereotypical British girl. I'm talking the ones that have the outrageous makeup kind, and he was in love with it. And
Elizabethan England.
No,
British?
Modern British girl. Apparently, I'm not British, so I don't know, but he is. The ones that you see on in the TikTok memes, I guess. I don't know. Okay. This one picture, dude, they literally made I don't know which Joker this is. It's the one with the scrungly longer hair.
Heath Ledger?
I think so. But they made him... wait.
The actual scars on the side of his...
Oh, wait, no. I think this is the one from the Joker movie, because he's got the bright red suit. The Joaquin.
Oh, okay.
I think...
yeah. He has a similar hairstyle to Heath Ledger's Joker. Heath Ledger's is more crazy. Okay.
Yeah, I think this is meant to be the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, but they made, it shows that. So you could pretty much make almost anyone, and it's very in-depth. Like I said, the body portion and proportions were a little to be desired, but on one hand, I get it, because one, it was pretty in-depth. I feel like there could have added a bit more things, but it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. There was that. It's just they've released a lot, but there is still a lot of answers that aren't. No, a lot of questions that aren't answered. My bad. I am pretty much excited to see where the development of inZOI goes. By that I mean I'm just going to completely ignore it and wait till it drops, because that's just how I am. I try not to.
From what we've talked about, it does seem like they may need a little more time to cook.
Oh, definitely.
But I feel like ever since the pandemic, everything's just kind of needed a shift, and we're not really going to be catching up anytime soon.
Yeah, and for me personally, if it takes them a couple, like I said, apparently the projected release date is late 2024, and from what has been released, it does look like they have a lot done, but they might not have enough done. And if they don't have enough done by their projected point, good, that's fine. Because the other game I've been, keeping a hawk eye on, that one has a projected release date of 2025, but they flat out stated, we don't know if we're gonna actually release it, because inZOI is being made by I wouldn't say this is EA levels and Maxis levels of a dev team. I'm not too sure how big Krafton is, but I feel like it's probably at least a little smaller. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just as big. I have no fucking idea. Mm-hmm. But the other game, which I've mentioned before, Paralives, that one I know is a team of 11 people, maybe 15 at max, but I don't even think it's 15. So they're 2025, but we might not make that cut, and it's just that is completely fine. You are literally 15 people working on one big ass game. Take your time.
I'd rather a company say it right off rip, or in the middle of development, instead of a month out before release, Bungie.
Yeah, they're just we're releasing May 3rd of 2024, and then even though it's already passed, and then April 30th, they're
March, yeah. March, they're it's gonna be delayed an entire year.
Okay. My favorite was Paralyzed. No, not Paralyzed. Life by You did that. they pushed back and pushed back, which, you know, tragically they no longer around, but for a time you could pre-order their game, and my one friend did. He pre-ordered the game, and then a couple months later he looked at his bank statement and he saw a refund, and they refunded his pre-order. Granted, I can see why now, but like he was like, that's concerning. That's a little.
When you don't even need to issue when the refund is automatically issued to you, you know something's wrong.
Yeah, like he didn't ask for it, like he pre-ordered it and he was like fully content on just like letting it sit, letting it cook and wait, and then one day he sent me a screenshot and he's just like, they just refunded my pre-order, and I'm like, oh. Granted, this was almost a half a year, maybe about a year before they fully announced that they shut down, but like still, that should have been a big warning sign that like things weren't going too well. But I was stupid and naive in thinking, oh, maybe they just need more time to cook, as I watched that they go from March release date to June, and I'm just, July, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe they need more time to, and they're closed. Okay, well, they shut down.
And they're gone.
And they're gone. Okay. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to talk about with inZOI. I might talk about it again. I might not. We'll see what else is released, if they do some kind of gameplay demo or when it's fully out. Who knows? I don't know.
Now, originally I was going to speak on the SpaceX spacewalk, but then Warner Bros. Dropped the Minecraft movie teaser, and to be honest, I've been waiting for this because there was so much intrigue behind this, besides the fact that Jack Black and Jason Momoa were starred in this movie. Yeah, I was just wondering how they were going to translate the world and aesthetics of Minecraft into it, and for the most part it looks good, until you get to the fact where there's real people, like human people in this world, a la Jumanji, and then you're like, wait a minute, this just looks like they're in a green screen world, this looks really weird. However, the set pieces, the art design, everything looks really nice. Everything is translated over really faithfully, including like building houses and crafting and mining, you know, the whole thing that Minecraft is. And the most interesting part they showed off was the fact that Steve is a character in this movie, and it's Jack Black. Jason Momoa is one of the 4 human people that are entering Minecraft, and they meet Steve, and he'll help them along their way. And they even show off the Nether, which is great. The piglins look really awesome. And this is going to be a really interesting run of the movie because of how late it is in the life cycle of Minecraft, because they're a lot more focused on the lore and telling a story. If you've seen one of the brain hemorrhaging inducing amounts of game theories on Minecraft, which may someday rival FNAF, depending on how lucky we are. But the one most interesting thing about this movie that they aren't going to show, obviously, is the fact that there will be an end. There will be the Ender Dragon. I believe this movie will take place between the start, middle, and end of a Minecraft journey, going through, getting a nether portal, going to the nether, getting blaze rods, and killing endermen to get ender pearls, going to the stronghold, and going to the end to fight the Ender Dragon. I believe that is going to be the overall plot of the movie, and I don't know how to feel about this. I think this is just going to be an interesting watch. I believe that this is going to be something that we can watch and say, it's so bad, it's good, it's so much of a joke that it can be seen and appreciated. But like I said, everything visually looks great. It just really feels like it's out of 2000s with how bad the green screening looks. But that's about all I have to talk about for the Minecraft teaser. It'll be coming out in April, so we've got quite a bit to go before another trailer drops and more footage is shown off. But I'm excited to see everything that is going to be shown off in this movie. But yeah, it is nightmare fuel. It's never not going to be nightmare fuel. Just seeing those realistic looking sheep and wolves and creepers and zombies. Oh, it's going to be a literal fever dream of a movie. Speaking of movies, there's going to be a lot more to talk about next week when I cover Beetlejuice, and I'll be doing a special little tidbit about a long-forgotten, reinstated Dwayne McDuffie website, which I'm really excited to talk about. And you know, even while editing this very episode, I just realized the Minecraft movie was something we talked about in our second ever episode. That's all I have to talk about for this week, and now it's time for me to send it back to my friends to end this week's episode.
But that'll be it from us. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are watching on CJSW, make sure to go check out our other episodes and the other wonderful shows that we got going on over there. But that will be it from us. I'd like to thank Trin for joining us.
A pleasure as always.
And Blaze. And we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye. So I've started the recording, whatever.
And I'm starting it off, aren't I?
Yep.
You're listed first, so
Right.
yes.
Oh god, it's been a while since I've intro. Alright.
Ooh.
Okay. Alright. Here we go. I feel like fucking Randy felt face when he was doing the one comedy special trying to read his book.
Yeah.
Alright.